What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Alex Monaco chilling with Danny Kanell at Radio Row. Danny, how we doing, baby?
Fantastic, man.
Normally, Galifianakis is between two ferns. We're between two shrubs right now. I'm loving the feng shui.
I love it too, man. It's a nice little setup you got here in the Mall of the Americas. I'm pumped. This mall is sick. I mean, they have a roller coaster rolling through this thing. My kids are mad at me I didn't bring them, but then I showed them it was minus 15 outside wind chill this morning. They were like, all right, we're good.
This is a mall and a half. So last time the Super Bowl was here was 92. I was about 18 months. I want to shout out you 92, though. I did some research. You hopped in a game against Maryland.
Yep.
5 tugs, 341 yards. Take me through that day, and then maybe relate it in the present with the Bledsoe, Brady being able and ready for those opportunities when they come.
Sure. So I was at Florida State. I was a sophomore, hadn't had any starts yet, and Charlie Ward was our starter. We were having a great year. We were #1 in the country, and he goes down with like a rib injury, something like chest in his chest area. And he goes down, and he was practicing a little bit, but I didn't know if he was going to play or not. I thought there was a chance I would start. And Mark Richt, who's the head coach in Miami now, was our quarterback coach. And he pulled me aside about 2 hours before the game, maybe 3 hours before the game, right when we were getting to leave for the stadium. And he goes, hey, you're starting. And I was like, oh, crap. No. I was like, oh, crap, here we go. This is it. And we were heavily favored in the game, even though I was playing. We were heavily favored, but it was a back-and-forth game, so we still had to throw it a lot, and we had to do a lot. So I ended up putting up pretty good numbers, just giving it to all those athletes I had at Florida State, because we had some studs.
Because I had Jeff Garcia on once, and he talked about coming in for Flutie.
Yeah.
You get that moment. I mean, how that day probably, you have to remember that your whole life.
Oh, for sure. There were 5 touchdowns, 350 yards around there. But it's one of those things where you never know how it's going to go, because as a backup, you're always supposed to prepare mentally, and I knew what to call the plays. But you don't really know until you get in there and there are live bullets flying around. There's guys coming to take off your head, because in practice you're protected. You never get hit. And it's a whole different ball game once you get in there in that huddle and all the eyes are on you, and you have to lead those guys down the field. And some guys live up to that moment. They have that opportunity to make the most of it. Some don't. And fortunately that day I was able to. And as we've seen throughout history, you've seen some backup quarterbacks that have had huge impacts on seasons, much like we're seeing this year with Nick Foles.
Love it. And I don't know how many people know this about you. You were drafted out of high school. Baseball, baby. Let's go. Shout out the Brewers.
Yeah, man. So I was a 2-sport athlete. I actually played baseball at Florida State as well. And baseball was my true love. I didn't start playing football until my junior year of high school. I started really late, and I was always a baseball player. I wanted to play in the Yankees. And I thought about going to play professional baseball, but ultimately the lure of Florida State, being a top-tier football program and being able to play college baseball was why I decided to go ahead and go to college.
What do you enjoy more locker room wise? A football locker room, or because baseball lingo is one of a kind, baby?
Yeah, I'm more of a baseball guy, so the personality fit more in the clubhouse. It's so much more relaxed. Like before games, you're in there maybe playing some cards, you're hanging with your fellas before you go out to hit BP and take some infield, and then the game starts. In a college or NFL football locker room, it's intense. Like, you got to get out there. You're getting ready to go to battle. Guys have their headphones on. They have their game faces on because you only play once a week. Baseball, you're playing every day. You get to be able to hang out a little bit more and enjoy yourself.
Love it. So anything parallel? I know you played third, first with the quarterback position. Did you take anything from baseball that you incorporate in football or vice versa?
The throwing motion is a little bit different. As a baseball player, you use a little bit more of your elbow, and there's a little more stress on your elbow, whereas the football motion is a lot more of your total body. You have to get your legs and hips more involved. So it actually takes some of the stress off of you. But I think it's just, that hand-eye coordination. I was very gifted just to be able to pick up a ball and throw it. Like, I never worked on my mechanics in football. I just could kind of throw it. When I was in high school, I actually got to throw the ball with Dan Marino. I was playing catch with him in high school, and I was talking to him about, should I work anything? Should I change my motion or anything? And he told me something I always remembered. He's like, look, you can either throw it or you can't. And he's like, you can throw it. And he obviously could throw it really well too. And anytime I hear guys saying they're changing their motion, it makes me really nervous because you either can throw it or you can't.
We are not via the Cowherd Satellite Network, but we got a mutual homie, Greg Tui. Anything we want to say to the homies back at Fox Sports 1?
Yeah, what's up, fellas? Those are my boys out there. Yeah, those dudes are awesome, man.
All right, so we're closing on this because so I was watching some research. They talk about how Brady's eyes, he disguises with his eyes. Breeze has got the shoulder shrug.
Yeah.
He leads the safety. I got a football
right.
in my hand.
Yep.
I was wondering if I could do a streak. I'll play Gronk.
Okay.
You play Brady right here.
All right.
And maybe just show the camera and everyone listening, you know, what Brady does so well.
All right.
And then I won't drop it.
All right, sounds
Let's
good.
do it, baby.
Don't go too far.
No. I'll go a little 10.
All right, so here we go. We're going to run 4 verticals. So he's the tight end running down the middle of the field, and as the safety's out there in the middle, you got to lead him one way or another. You got to lead the safety to the opposite side and then rip it back to the other side of the field. So that's what we're going to do. All right, you ready?
You know, I only play in the 5th quarter.
All right.
I told Mr. Ryan Clark once, he felt real bad.
All right.
It's
It's going to be tough with this ball. You ready?
It's all right. You ready? You ready? All right. You want to go back? We got
All right. Let's do it. Set. Hike. I'm looking that way and then coming back. There it is.
Let's go, baby! Caught! That is Danny Kanell, showing you how Brady operates. Eyes off the safety. Don't call me the Jewish croc. I'm Alex Monaco. This is Extraordinary Sports.
Thanks,
Danny
Alex.
Kanell, baby. Check him out. Great podcast with Rajah Bell. Let's go.